So today is part one of this whole thing I've got going on. So I'm having the LEEP procedure done a week from today. Today I'm going for an ultrasound. Now the ultrasound is not part of the LEEP procedure. If you're getting one of those, it's not necessary. The reason I'm getting an ultrasound is before the procedure is to check for any cysts in on my ovaries or whatever, and my doctor, while I'm getting the LEEP procedure, is also going to be doing a biopsy of my uterus. What is that, like your endometrium or whatever? She'll be doing a biopsy of that as well, which again is not part of the LEEP procedure. It's just something that is specific to my case, just doing it while she's in there. So the ultrasound will, I guess, give her visibility. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but I'm going for that part today. And it's not going to be bad, it's just an ultrasound, but I think I'm going to milk it. I was talking to my therapist last week about how I don't like to say when I'm not feeling well or like I'm in pain or whatever, because I feel like, I don't know, I don't want people to like feel bad for me or like whatever. I don't feel like I deserve to rest if I'm not feeling well. And she said that I need to start speaking up. So even though this isn't going to hurt or anything, I'm going to milk this for today. I'm going to go get it done, and then I'm going to come home and do nothing but read for the rest of the day, and I'm going to make John make me dinner. It's so early. It's 6:11 in the morning. I've been up for an hour already, just like laying in bed. So much anxiety. I couldn't go back to sleep, so I got up. I'm going to do a Peloton ride, try to tire myself back out and get some more sleep. It's like, it's so early that like every noise is making me like, what's that, what's that, what's that? But it's literally just my cats. So I had my ultrasound 2 days ago, and okay, so I'll tell you the reason I had the ultrasound. With everything else that's going on, I was at the gynecologist, and I told her that I've been having like seriously irregular periods for like years now. Sometimes I have it like normally every 28 days. That's very rare lately. Sometimes I don't get it for like 6 months. Sometimes after that I'll have it for like weeks straight. Like I think I've been on my period, whatever this is, since before the new year at this point. Just like consistently have not stopped bleeding, spotting, whatever. So she ordered an ultrasound for me to do a look for like PCOS, like polycystic ovarian syndrome. It didn't inspire a lot of confidence. I was there, the radiologist was doing the ultrasound, and she was asking me questions, and she asked me if I was seeing the doctor that day, like on Tuesday, and I said no, I'm seeing her next week, because next week I have a procedure with her. And she was like, oh, okay, like she wasn't really sure about that. And then she finished up and she was like, okay, go ahead and put your pants on, and I'm just gonna go talk to the doctor real quick. And she like ran out of the room. I was like, okay, well that's weird. She was gone for like 20-25 minutes. I was just sitting there in the room waiting, and she came back and she was like, okay, well the doctor will get in touch with you or let you know what's going on when you have your appointment. And I was like, okay, like I don't know, it just like felt really weird and awkward. I was like, whatever, if it was like anything bad, the doctor's right across the hall, I'm sure they would have told me. And so I, gosh, like so anxious. I came home and I wasn't intending on, look, okay, I'm really thankful that we live in a world of like telehealth and like access to medical records and things like that, but I think that they shouldn't put test results on to patient portals until you have a doctor explain them to you. I went on to pay my copay. They had uploaded the results or whatever from the ultrasound, and I obviously am not a doctor. I took anatomy and physiology however many years ago. Like, I know a little bit, but I'm not a doctor. I don't know what things mean. And it was like, okay, like, no signs of PCOS, blah, 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 blah. But we noted, incidentally noted 10 millimeter endometrial polyp. So of course I'm an idiot and I Google what that means, and like the one thing that just keeps coming up is like cancer. It's like I'm probably fine, like 99% chance I'm fine, but like I don't know. It's just like I'm not gonna know anything until Tuesday, and even then I'm not gonna know anything because she was already gonna do in addition to the other procedure that she's doing, she was already gonna do a uterine biopsy while she's up in my business. So I don't know. The not knowing is killing me. Like, I've just spent months with something wrong and just not knowing what it is. And it's just killing me, and I can't sleep and I can't think of anything else. And like every time you've seen me saying like, oh, I'm having a bad day, or like I'm in a slump or whatever, it's all been this, because it's like physically I feel okay, but like mentally I just like I don't know what's going on inside of my body, and it's just like it's just a lot. This day I'm about to pop my Ativan and hope for the best. I'm like worried it's not gonna get done today because TMI, I started bleeding last night. I don't get regular periods. Whatever, I started bleeding last night and like really heavy, and I don't know if they're gonna be able to do this while that's happening, so like torn between let's get this over with and maybe I have a way out today. I just want to get it over with. I'm so mentally exhausted from all of this, and I'm just done. I'm just done. I'll see you guys after. So, I'm home from the doctor. I've been saying this whole video that I'm being kind of vague because I wanted to do a whole video specifically going through the LEEP procedure and my experience and all that stuff.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Okay, anyway, but I did not have that procedure done today. So that video is not coming on Sunday because I didn't get it done. So basically what happened was, let me just like backtrack and explain a bit more of what I was going to get into in the next video. So I had an abnormal pap smear back in September. I was diagnosed with HPV, and then also in September I had a colposcopy, which is kind of like a more in-depth pap where they biopsy cells from your cervix, and then that came back with high dysplasia, which means precancerous cells. So the LEEP procedure is the procedure that's done to remove those precancerous cells. It's like an electrical wire loop. It's done in the office, and it literally just like burns them out of your cervix. So that's what I was there for today. I also had an ultrasound last week, found a 10 millimeter polyp in my uterus. She was already going to do a uterine biopsy anyway today, so that's what was going on. I was doing a uterine biopsy and the LEEP procedure today, and I was having a lot of anxiety about it. I don't typically get medical anxiety, but I was for this. So she wrote me a prescription for Ativan to take today, coming into the office. So I took one while I was in the waiting room, and then took the second one when I was back in the procedure room to help kind of like ease my anxieties about the whole thing. And I was doing really good. I was feeling much calmer than I thought I was going to. I was on the table, you know, legs spread, everything out in the open, and she put the speculum in, and she said she was going to do the biopsy first of my uterus and then do the LEEP. And I don't really know exactly what she was doing or like what she was putting inside of me or like what was going on. All I know is that I was blinded by the pain, and I'm not a baby when it comes to pain. Like, I take my pain like a woman, and I was shot down out of the sky, and that triggered. So what happened was she started and I was in a lot of pain. So she stopped, and then she started again and I was still in a lot of pain. And then that created a panic attack in me because I knew she was going to stop again, and I knew that she was going to start again. And just thinking of stopping and starting and stopping and starting, I completely, like, my whole body was shaking, the table was shaking, my legs and the stirrups were shaking. I could barely keep anything still. I could barely breathe. I was sobbing. So she did stop. She didn't keep going through all of that. She obviously stopped and, you know, just like asked me what I needed. Do I need a break? Blah, 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 blah. The medical assistant left, and it took me like 10, maybe 15 minutes to finally like calm down and not be like screaming, crying, throwing up. And I just looked at her and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do it. I can't. And thankfully that's something that she had told me in my consultation, that like at any point I'm allowed to stop and she will stop and we won't go through with it. So I knew that she would be okay with that. So yeah, after all that anxiety this week, it just manifested itself on the table in the form of a painful panic attack. I'm exhausted right now. My head is pounding. I literally just got home. I wanted to just like get this out while it was still fresh in my memory. And so now I'm still gonna have the procedure done, but I'm going to have it done at the hospital in the OR under general anesthesia. And she's also, I have to have the polyp removed as well. So it's kind of like at that point killing two birds with one stone. So